Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, osia dem yopo.
You are most welcome to PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best and latest updates in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for more updates, like and also share to other members to watch as well. You can equally leave a comment at the comment section after watching or send us a voice note on our WhatsApp number, which is 0277128777. Thank you. I want you to join me today listening to what KSM also have to say about the behavior of Afenyo Makin in Parliament and how he's becoming annoying to the public. Without much ado, I would like you to join me listening to what he said in today's talk. Thank you.
It's good to be back on Talk Shop, your favorite, hottest, sizzling program online. And you know what we do here, folks. Something very, very simple. We simply tell it like it is. So that what? The chips come forward, the bloody hell may. That's all we do here. And we always say this, that truth crashed to earth shall rise again. We are. And finally, the great question I ask all of you, what time is it? And the answer is, it's nation time, man. It is nation time. And it's nation time. And by the way, I know you are getting very, very, very excited about the upcoming walk. We are trying to define the paths and everything, but it is definitely coming on. The date that we are tentatively taking off is March 6th for this walk. So stand by, we'll be giving you the details. And for any corporate institutions that want to sponsor a Nation Time t-shirt, we'll put your logo nicely on this, and then you can get some for your company. Order 10, 20, 100, whatever, you know. The number is 054-278-1896. It's on the screen right now. So you just give us a call there, and then we will know how many you want and your logo, and put it on so that we can take part in this great match that is coming. Anyway, today, as you can see, Charlie, the hand is small strength has come, you know. Strength they come inside, though, Charlie. So I want a rematch, man. I'm going to call him for a rematch. This time, I will whoop his ass, man. Anyway, thank you all for joining us one more time. And today, you know, on the weekends, I just want to talk about as many things as I can. But I'll start with a few things, you know. I talked about oral the last time. And I played certain clips from Honorable Macho Afenyo Makin and one young guy called, I think his name is Darko, yeah, who are making statements about oral. Now, I want to repeat a bit of what they said, then I'll make my commentary, and then Yen Konkwa. So let me take a short minute to repeat, to show you what Afenyo Makin said about the oral thing. Listen to this.
I condemn in no uncertain terms the establishment of a so-called committee called ORA. I hold a humble view that it is a needless committee. It has no constitutional backing, and this committee is only in for personal vendetta. If we allow this committee to continue with its so-called wild goose chase, it will disturb the governance of this country.
Mr. Speaker, that so-called committee claiming to be going after loot must be cautioned that committee is unconstitutional and illegal.
Unconstitutional establishment and putting together of people who go about harassing former government officials. We believe that the establishment of that oral committee violates and flies in the face of our constitution. And we want the people of Ghana to know that no serious country will entertain anything such as this.
And what I really wanted you guys to pick on was the fact that they were talking about how unconstitutional the whole idea of oral is. Unconstitutional. It has not got any parliamentary approval. But folks, this is the kind of hypocrisy that pains me. And when I say hypocrisy, folks, I'm talking about hypocrisy with the capital H. Listen, do you remember under the same government that there were ministers of majority, Afenyo Makin, under the same NPP, in order to investigate the loot in the public sector and all the loot that they said was going on, what did they do? They brought in a foreign company. Well, they just juxtapose it with oral. They are all Ghanaians. They are all Ghanaians who are vigilant, who want to pursue where the loot has been taken. On the other hand, at the NPP, they brought in Kroll Associates, Kroll, Kroll Associates, foreign company, to come to Ghana to do the same thing. And guess what? They were paid $1 million. Now, folks, does this make sense? You're complaining that a bunch of Ghanaians have been put together to help recover our loot. A bunch of Ghanaians who are not taking any salary. You're complaining, and you're constitutional. I think one of the words was that it was a needless exercise.
It is a needless committee.
Massa, and under your administration, you brought in foreigners to come into this country, not to help us to do it for free. They were charging $1 million. To date, where's the work they did? To date, where is the work that Kroll did to be paid $1 million? Today, nobody knows where it went. Isn't that a shame? And then you have the nerve and the audacity to stand in parliament and talk like somebody who was so informed and how things are unconstitutional and they are needless and people are pursuing their own private vendetta.
It has no constitutional backing, and this committee is only in for personal vendetta.
Jesus, Holy Christ. I think you owe Ghanaians an apology for that ridiculous statement and that display of arrogance that nobody needs to see. Nobody. So the question is this: was Kroll constitutional? Tell me. Was Kroll approved by Parliament? Tell me. All we heard was that Kroll was in town, match $1 million to the senior minister or Safomafo. That's all we know. How constitutional was it? And where were you? Where were you? This is the kind of hypocrisy that is killing this nation. You only find a voice when it is appropriate to grandstand and show whatever it is you want to show. Was Kroll constitutional? Kroll didn't private vendetta, right? Because they were not Ghanaians. Makes me sick. And honestly, John Darko, at that time, where were you? I know you are, what do you call that thing? You're a freshman in Parliament now. Where were you at that time? And before you had your press conference to talk, wouldn't it have been just intelligent? Charlie, let me study some of the things that have happened before I open my mouth. That's why I advised you last week, visibility is very, very important to be visible. But make sure visibility goes with intelligence. Speak. By all means, do speak, but speak intelligently. Not just speaking for heaven's for speaking's sake. And I was watching your press conference with all your, I guess, party members lined up behind you, and I was watching their faces one by one by one by one, and I was so sad. I said, so all of you, nobody knew that what this man was doing was just clowning, to the effect that even when they call anybody, don't show up.
And so if you are a former government official and you're invited by this so-called Ora, advice to you from the minority is to boycott any invitation from the Ora team. We are not going to be part of it.
Let me play back something that Dom Levo said about this whole issue of inviting people. Listen to this.
Yes. We've not invited anybody. Somebody should just show us who we have invited. We don't. We say, if you have information, bring it to us. We don't tell that, come. We know of a lot of people who have embezzled or misused, are alleged to have embezzled public funds or sitting on public land, etc. We have not invited anybody.
They have never invited anybody. They are doing their own investigations. So, folks, look, John Darko, the Pacho, it's good to be visible. I know you have just entered Parliament and you want your mark to be made, but please make it and make it right. On this note, let me give free advice to the MPP. Free. I always do that. If you like, look into this column and you see free advice to the MPP, to the NDC. I always give free advice. On this note, let me give you free advice, folks. You are in opposition now. And the way to make an impression on the Ghanaian public is not through useless grandstanding. And this is needless. I affirm that I will do blah, 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 blah. It does not make the Ghanaians endear them to you. Afenyo, let me tell you, you are making the MPP even more unpopular. Look, people with intelligence will know that at this time what you need to do is to use tact. Use tact and intelligence to talk, to debate. But don't present it as if, say, Charlie, I'm in the minority, but I want to make a point, say, I'm a minority, but no, it doesn't get you anywhere. And free advice to the MPP is this. If you're not aware, you have turned the party into probably the most unpopular party ever. And I was glad when Bawumia said that he was going to go out and then rethink and regroup, maybe reset, I don't know.
But I assure you that we will regroup and come back even stronger. We will take stock of events and pick lessons to guide us.
That is what you should be doing as a party. At this point, you should be thinking about how do we endear ourselves again to the people of Ghana. And let me give you the free advice. The first thing you do is to stop the arrogance. Nobody wants it. They say, Charlie. And we are at the point where everybody is sick and tired of being sick and tired. We are at the point where we all want to start celebrating this country. You know, I feel so sorry when I see all the youth. Everybody wants to migrate. You know? And I'm saying that we have a time in our history where we can take advantage of whatever the situation is now to build this country so that our youth will be interested in staying in this country, contributing their quota to this country. Let's make that happen. It's not going to be easy. I'm not just saying, say, oh yeah, can we are within 1 or 2 months. It will not be easy. You know that, I know that, and if you don't know that, then there's something wrong with you. It's not easy. It will mean lots of struggle, lots of dedication, lots of sacrifice on all our parts to build this nation. And all I'm appealing to Ghana is this. We have an opportunity to build this nation. So let's concentrate on doing just that. Masa, I mean, I know, you know, there are always those who want to build the nation and those who want to wreck the nation. So the battle is always between the nation builders and the nation wreckers. All the time in the history of every country, especially Ghana, we have the nation builders, people who are interested in making sure that we can put in the right structures to build and raise this nation. And then on the other hand, we have people who also want to dismantle every structure possible to make sure that we can wreck the nation. So all I'm saying is this: we have an opportunity now to build a nation. I don't give a hoot what party you are. It doesn't make sense to me. And that's why I'm looking forward to our march. I'm telling you, because on that day, you're going to see NPP people, NDC people, CPP, Ghanaians generally are going to gather on that day to march. And the only thing we're going to be saying is that Ghana first. That's what we're going to be saying. It's nation time. It's time to build this nation, man. And when the nation, when people who want to wreck the nation, when they get their chance and they wreck the nation, they're doing it for only one reason, just to make sure that whoever is the leader at the time or the party at the time gets embarrassed. So at the risk of putting the whole nation at peril, the nation wreckers will do all that they can to wreck the nation. When I say MP before to me yet, then we are happy. Say MP before to me yet, or NDC vote to me yet, so we are happy saying this vote to me yet. My goodness, let's go past that. There's an expression called outmoded at birth. I like that a lot. Outmoded at birth. There are certain things that are outmoded at birth. One of them is arrogance and grandstanding in parliament. In 2025, Pachoya Bre. 2025, you see much. It's been over 68 years of so-called independence. Now, to 2025, you see much. So at what point do we get to the part where we say, Charlie, now let's be focused on building our nation instead of always tussling between the building the nation and wrecking the nation? So all you nation wreckers, I beg you, it's your right if you want to wreck the nation, but step aside. And let's give those of us who want the opportunity to reset and build this nation, build it. If you want to wreck the nation, step aside. And on 6 March, when we do our march, it's going to be a march of people eager to build this nation, because we can. And Ghana shall rise again. My goodness. So the next thing I want to talk about, folks, is this oral team. As you heard Domevlo, they are not personalizing this thing.
So we say, let's go on the field to validate the information we are receiving. That is what created the problem. They saw us on TV and etc. Say, the guys are now entering people's homes and doing so. I say, which home? We didn't do that. But let me be honest with you. It was good we went out. Because if you see the extent of the loot, it is done in such an unconscionable manner that you ask yourself, what is wrong with Ghanaians?
Contrary to the perception of Afenyo Makin that this is going to be personal vendetta.
And this committee is only in for personal vendetta.
Craziness. Craziness, oh. Somebody is questioning why 58 million has been used to build a hole. It's a personal vendetta. And I don't even want to go through the list. The scandals keep coming. Just a few days ago, they went to Tamale, and Tamale lands have also been looted. Even the GTV lands have been looted and sold to private developers. And people say, no, this belongs to Ghana. Let's go and get our lands back and give it to the state. Personal vendetta. And so when they call you, don't go. That's what I said the other time, that you have two choices. Impress people with your brilliance, or you can try and dazzle them with your bullcrap. And I'm telling you point blank that your bullcrap does not dazzle us. It annoys us. I'm hoping that as the MPP is trying to reshape itself, I think people like Abronye, Wuntumi, and the likes will be put in the rear of your factions. Put them in the rear somewhere. Afenyo Makin, you want to rebuild the party? Please start sounding like this country means something to you. We are tired. We're tired. Ghana for your bread. Okay? So moving on. Oral. Operation Recover All Loot. Please, we the people of Ghana, let us also talk about OPAL. What is OPAL? Operation Prevent All Loot. I think Domrovo talked about this in our last week, interview with him. That's the stage we should get to. Not to recover the loot. Yes, that one, we would definitely want to recover the loot, but let's get to the point where we can prevent the loot.
My humble prayer, however, and it is a fervent prayer of mine, is that we should not be looking at Operation Recover All Loots. We must take seriously Operation Prevent All Loots. We should not be recovering whilst people are still looting. It's like you are mopping the place and others are pouring more water inside.
The looting is massive. The looting is massive. And I'm actually praying and hoping that the parliament, the government, whoever it is, will really look at some of these state institutions we have. Because oral does not have any prosecutory powers. They're supposed to investigate. They're supposed to get all the evidence and hand the evidence to Yoko, or hand the evidence to the police, or hand the evidence to the courts, or whoever. But they are not entitled with powers of prosecution.
What is our mandate? Then it was explained to me that no, you are not supposed to go down and start investigating people or auditing people, etc. This is just a preparatory stage where the president feels overwhelmed with information which is coming on looting and etc. So he wants a team who he can direct all this to, so that we can put it together and sift through it, and we can bring it to him to say, look, we received maybe 1,000 or 2,000 complaints. Some of them are just information. They are not any substantive thing, but these are the serious ones, and the serious ones, some require auditing, some require investigating, some require the OSP or maybe Yoko's mandate, because it depends. If it is corruption and corruption-related issue, it must go to ASP. If it is money laundering and organized crime, it must go to Yoko. We are just gathering information.
This is my fear, folks. This is my fear. And it's a very legitimate fear. All these institutions that oral is supposed to hand over their evidence to, all these institutions are all an integral part of the administration that just left. Yes, most of them were appointed by the previous administration. What is my fear? My fear is that because they have been appointed and entrenched, some of them have been paid big time money. Let me tell you how the mobs operate. The mobsters, how they operate. The mobsters, they know how to buy the judges, they know how to buy the lawyers, they know how to buy the police, they know how to buy every institution that stands as a state institution. They know how to infiltrate it. Army, police, name it. They infiltrate it and pay people huge sums of money. So they may have gone, but they have left their footprints all over there. This is my fear, that the oral will go and do all the work, big, and bring it. They say, oh, you have discovered that this was stolen, this was floating. Okay, this one has to go to Yoko. He goes to Yoko, and the fellows there are like, Namopa, these are people. Are we supposed to prosecute them? That is what I'm afraid of. That's my biggest fear. That all the institutions that are supposed to prosecute the loot from the oral have a lot of links to the administration that we are prosecuting for looting.
You go into the police, the man who you are going to report the case to is part of the team. You go to the prosecutor, he is part of the team. You go to the judge, he is part of the team.
And so my fear is that it will get there, and instead of them being agencies to prosecute, they'll be clearing agencies. They'll just clear them. We all not in this country when over $1 million was discovered in Sisi Adrapa's room and say tomorrow this, tomorrow that, tomorrow. What is the story with that? Cleared. It means started from the top. President cleared before he came down. Are we to expect that as Arrog goes up and down and responding to whatever, and people are calling them? You'll be surprised. They have overwhelming calls coming from all over Ghana.
Many people call me, then I give them the hotline and say, call the hotline. They will take the details.
Every region talking about the injustices that they have faced and hoping that Arrog will come in and retrieve things for them. All over Ghana. And my fear is this: if Arrog should step in and do all the work that is needed to be done, and they have all the evidence that is needed to be submitted, and it is submitted to agencies who are loyal and who have been entrenched by the past administration, then what happens? We're just submitting evidence to clearing agencies. So it is my hope, a lot of hope, that before it gets to the point where Arrog has actually accommodated evidence, at that time, the people that will be handling and dealing with evidence are going to be true sons and daughters of this country. The people that are going to handle it are going to be true representations of people who are nationalistic and patriotic to handle that, so that those agencies don't become clearing agencies. Otherwise, what a waste. What a waste. Let me sound this to the NDC, not only to Muhammad the leader. Let me sound this to the whole party called NDC. If at the end of the day, Arrog does all the work and gives it to report and send them to agencies who dilly-dally, and all of a sudden you see that everything has fizzled, Ghanaians will never forgive you. We will punish you, to be frank with you, because that is not what we are looking for. We are looking to reset Ghana. That was the promise you made. We're looking to reset Ghana. And what will be great to reset Ghana by Ghanaians knowing that all or as many as possible of the things that were looted have been retrieved and given back to the state.
We'll launch a strong anti-corruption fight and allow the anti-corruption institutions unfettered space to do their work. We'll launch an Operation Recover All the Loot. No person found culpable will be spared.
What a massive reset that will be. I'll tell you something, some policemen just walked to my car in traffic. They were controlling traffic. They just came to me, hey, KSM, blah, 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 blah. You know what one said? The KSM, Charlie, this Arrog thing, do you think it will work? I said, why do you ask? He said, many of my friends, they say, oh, this one that we heard every time in Ghana, we heard, say, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. All of that will fizzle. That's what he told me. And all I'm saying to the people, to the NDC, to Mahama, to everything, that's the fear that people have. That this is all talk and they are expecting it to fizzle.
Arrog team, we are committed to render our services to the country. And my rather plea goes to His Excellency the President, that if there are going to be no consequences from his behavior, impunity will take over.
So the least you can do is to disprove Ghanaians that no, you meant it when you said it, and you're going to do that. And I'm telling you, you'll be surprised that a good number of people voted you to come to power so that you can retrieve the loot. And on the side of the people, we'll also assure you that once this country is reset as it's supposed to be, then we'll go to the next level of where we will actually prevent the loot. Please, let us turn Ghana into a country where people who have even abandoned Ghana, say Ghana, think and realize and hear that, hey, Charlie, I hear things are changing in Ghana. Hey, Charlie, I hear Charlie, Ghana things are changing. Because that can be done, folks. And I told you that on Talk Shop, we're talking about how we reset. We have talked a bit about some of our culture. We'll be talking more about that. We're going to be talking about education. It's coming up soon. We're going to be talking about law and order. Big time. Without law and order, nothing will work in this country. Without law and order, nothing will work in this country. How do we build this country to have law and order? So that when you do something that is against the law, you pay the consequences. How do we do that? It can be done. And as Don Bilbo was saying the other day, is all leadership.
Everything that I've said stops with leadership. If you have the right leader, the system goes right. Bad leader, the same thing. Bad leadership, at least bad system.
I'm going to end up this Chinese saying. The Chinese say that the leader is like the wind, and the people are like the grass. And it says the grass will always bend in the direction the wind is blowing. So if you have a corrupt leader, we have a wicked leader who is just intent on destroying. Trust me, that is how the mass of the people behave. Corruption blossoms. Crime starts up. Everything is all the signal they are getting from the top. So please, leadership, change direction where we have voted for change. Be serious and focused about this change. And let's move on. Nation Records, as for Nation Records, you have been a part of the history of Ghana from Nkrumah's time, when there were so many assassination attempts to kill Kwame Nkrumah, when eventually, even, we all know now, it's an open secret, we all know that the CIA overthrew Kwame Nkrumah. If you don't know that, then I'm sorry for you. It's an open secret. Even CIA, Americans have released files that tells us that the CIA overthrew Kwame Nkrumah. Why did they overthrow Kwame Nkrumah? Kwame Nkrumah published a book called Neocolonialism, the last stage of imperialism. And Americans saw the book and they said, damn, this thing is so deep. And Nkrumah had figured out all their policies and strategies they will be using to derail the success of Africa. And he put it in that book. Trust me, I think the American cut off, there was about $30 million of aid coming to Ghana. They cut it off when that book was published. There were so much influence. And that is when they decided that this man should not go anywhere. The idea to overthrow Kwame Nkrumah was hatched by the CIA. But guess what? They were able to find some Ghanaian Nation Records. So, Charlie, we are here. We'll do it for you. Use me. They were rushing. So we know that the Nation Records will always be with us. That one, there's nothing we can do about it. What we have to do, though, is for the nation builders to rise up and stand and take a stand, really, and tell the Nation Records, enough is enough. You have held this continent and this country down for such a long time. Last week I talked about the US Senator blasting Ghana and saying, Nation Records don't realize the depth to which we are sinking. All I'm saying is that the nation builders, it's time to rise. The nation builders, it's time to rise and carry this country up with you. And I'll end in these words. When they rise, it simply means that Ghana has risen again.
Thank you for staying tuned. PENDREAM TV really appreciates your time once again and say God bless you for the wonderful work you are doing for us. And to our new members, we urge you to share the link. subscribe as well, like, and also comment at the comment section after watching. Thank you.
Dedi kama Mamin PENDREAM TV ase. Now so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.